An alarming new trend playing out with your rental properties. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up and strap in. I got a hard-hitting pull no punches and sugarcoating it. No rainbows, no sunshine. No snowflakes either. I'm just going to give it to you. Hey, give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Is another trend in the real estate market is about to be unleashed. Well, it's already happening. I'm already seeing it. But it just reminded me this was something that happened in the last bubble, and it's playing out all over again. What's the definition of insanity, friends? If anybody's if anybody's been with the channel for a while, they absolutely have heard me say this more than once. And if you're new, please subscribe right away. There's never been a more important time to get centered and surrounded with like-minded people. Iron will continue to sharpen iron. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, is the definition of insanity. So as soon as we started exhibiting bubble behavior in the U.S. housing market as a licensed realtor, seeing the Kool-Aid drinking, the euphoria, the FOMO that transpired, living in an episode of the Twilight Zone is like being in the Wild West, a showdown. Head spinning, a dogfight to work in real estate, and then agents acting like it was the thing to do. It's like hitting the lottery. You're an essential worker. I'm an essential worker too. Let's go sell houses. Whew, embarrassing. I was embarrassed to be an agent during this crisis because it was so ridiculous. I'm like, couldn't anybody see this? Gosh, what did I say? This bubble will have blowback. The dust will settle, and we will pay the piper. So what we're seeing now, friends, is a lot of people, they're not making their mortgage payments because they drank the economic Kool-Aid and they got under a bunch of leverage, and now their homes are upside down, and their tenants, they started price gouging them, and so now they're trying to rent these homes, but rental rates are now dropping. So what's going to happen next? You get it, guessed it. What landlords are starting to do now is they're renting their homes, collecting rents, but not making the payment. They have notice of default showing up, and pretty soon the notice of default letters are going to get so staggering. The banks will be buried in delinquent mortgage payers that it's going to be hard to process and get those foreclosed on in a timely fashion. The banks aren't in their conference rooms right now talking about how everything's rainbows and sunshine and snowflakes. They're talking about how they're going to get through a bunch of delinquent homeowners and property owners that are behind on their payments. So one of the things that happened in the last bubble is we saw it happen. You would get a door knock saying from a sheriff saying you have to leave the property. Well, what do you mean? I pay my rent all the time. To call my landlord. Yeah, well, your landlord hasn't been making their mortgage payment. What? You're making a payment to the landlord who's just stuffing their pockets because they know they're going down with the ship. In the last housing bubble, it would take up to 2 years before you got that knock on the door. So some people were collecting rents from their tenants without making their payment for 2 years. Insanity. Insane. And so the challenge is for a lot of these landlords, what happened, a lot of them refinanced or they just bought during the crisis. They thought they'd create a rental property. But what's happening now is they can no longer make their payment. And the rents now are going down. Something that we thought would never happen. No, rents will continue to go up forever. The rental market will follow the sales market. It just lags behind. So this is the newest trend that's going on. I was on Craigslist. If you ever have looked for a rental before, you've probably been on Craigslist. The amount of scams that are on there, typically you'll see something that looks too good to be true. It probably is. A great price on a rental, like, oh my God, it looks amazing. You contact the contact email through Craigslist, and then some scammer's like, yeah, I'm out of the area. You can go drive by if you want. I can, if you send me your deposit, I'll send you an application. You send me all your information. They try to do it all remotely without ever meeting anybody face to face. That's a huge red flag, and people fall for it, and they prey on those scams. Are almost exclusively the majority of listings on Craigslist are scams. But now I'm seeing stuff that I can tell, like, this isn't a scam email because they definitely know the area well, the property's listing properly. Everything looks like it's a mom and pop landlord. But the rents are really low. Really low. And what that tells me is somebody's just going to try to get a renter in there, collect rents as long as they can before the thing gets foreclosed on. That's what happened in the last crisis. Landlords would advertise their properties on it, give them a deal, lock them in, collect security deposits, stop making the payment, maybe pay, some of the, if there's an association or property tax or insurance, everything but the mortgage. And then eventually it just makes it really hard for the banks to come get that house. And if you're a tenant, a lot of tenant rights now, I mean, a lot of tenants can dig in and say, no, I got a lease. It's good for a year. You can't kick me out until this lease is over. It's complicated. It's tricky. It happens in a real estate bubble. And guess what we're in right now? Another real estate bubble. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, somebody who wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding this is the next trend that's going to play out next. As the housing bubble pops, many owners are going to start renting their houses for under rental market value and just collect as much rents as they can before the property forecloses. Unfortunately, most renters will have no idea that their landlord isn't making the payment. They don't know eventually they're going to get that knock and they're going to have to leave, whether they got a lease or not. Eventually they have to leave and your whole world gets turned upside down because now you need replacement housing. This is what happens, friends, in a real estate bubble. I'm only telling you the realities and the facts of what happens every time the real estate market exhibits bubble behaviors. They crash, and these are the types of side effects, the symptoms, the blowback that the real estate market exhibits. It's happened every single bubble, every single time. Homeowners can't make their payments. They have renters, whether they're already in place or they bring them in, knowing that eventually that property is foreclosing. And you can't, they're just going to try to collect as much money as they can because they know they're about to take a massive, massive blow to their credit. So you're just trying to get as heavy in cash as you possibly can. I'll continue to blow the lid off it, do my best to keep you guys up to date on every single trend and every single scenario that's going to play out, already playing out as we move forward, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. I will personally be part of your transaction. If you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.
All right, coming up next, Prone 1 Semi 1. Dude, he's the Prone.